generally good words to live by. In the case of director David Fincher, they're also good words to work by, at least as it pertains to entertaining the notion of making a sequel to his new film, The Killer, available now on Netflix. It doesn't pay to have rules with that stuff. I'm the guy who, before Zodiac, said, "No more serial killers." The joke is typical Fincher, dry, winking, and only humorous to those who possess the proper context. The filmmaker who brought us Kevin Spacey's serial killer John Doe in 1995 would, of course, continue to explore similarly murderous terrain, not just with 2007's Zodiac, but in 2011's The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and on 2 seasons of his Netflix show Mindhunters. While The Killer is not a serial killer film, it certainly has a series of killings. The movie stars Michael Fassbender as a nameless hitman who, after a job goes wrong, sets about visiting with routinely lethal consequences a succession of folks, including 2 fellow assassins, one played by Tilda Swinton, who might pose a threat to his future. The film reunites Fincher with Seven screenwriter Andrew Kevin Walker in the pair's first credited big-screen collaboration since the Brad Pitt-starring hit and pop culture sensation. The director tasked Walker to come up with a script that kept the dialogue of Fassbender's central character to the bare minimum. Walker recalls that Fincher told him to try and write it so this guy has literally 10 lines of dialogue spoken in the entire movie. As a point of pride, I did hand in a first draft that had literally 13 lines of dialogue. It was the most I could get it down to and still have it function and be semi-natural. Fassbender's character is voluble in voiceover as he mentally recites a mantra that extols the virtues of a strict and dispassionate approach to his job even as his actions become ever more improvisational and emotionally engaged. "I'm not here to take sides," Fassbender stoically intones as his killer prepares to take a shot at his target in the film's lengthy, Paris-set opening sequence. "I serve no god or country. I fly no flag. If I'm effective, it's because of one simple fact. I don't give a f. Screenwriter Walker recalls that from the very beginning, one of the big things that David said was, he's going to have this mantra that he repeats and then, as he goes, the mantra will begin to kind of crumble or he'll contradict it. And no matter how unemotional he says he is, it will all be driven by a deep-seated emotion that he doesn't even want to admit is there. The work of crafting that voiceover began long before shooting and continued deep into post-production as Walker and the legendarily meticulous Fincher saw just the right combination of words. "We started to go at it, and we kept at it, and we kept at it," says Walker, whose non-Fincher credits include 1999's Sleepy Hollow and last year's Jason Segel-starring thriller Windfall. "There may have been times, and I'm not saying this was an argument, but there may have been times when I was going, feels about right to me. I'm done, baby." But it was David's insistence that we keep discussing it. I'm really grateful on his insistence to keep finding the balance, because some of the stuff that came very late in the process of discussing and adjusting voiceover are not only some of my favorite things in this movie, but some of my favorite things I've ever written. Fincher himself calls working on the voiceover as an interesting balancing act, and, yeah, invariably there will come a time when you go, "Okay, I need you to express all of the thoughts in these 12 words, and you have 4. And I don't know how you're going to get there either, and don't bug me." He concludes, with a laugh. David Fincher laughs a lot more in conversation than you might imagine.